Hare Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Shall continue reading from the next paragraph. The chief engineer of a complicated construction does not personally take part in the construction itself. So if big construction is happening, the chief engineer, he is not himself bringing all the cement and all the raw materials and making the construction himself. He is not personally actively participating in that construction, but he is the chief engineer. It is under his direction that everything is happening, as per his planning that everything is happening. But it is he only, the chief engineer, who knows every nook and corner of the construction, because everything is carried out under his direction only. But if somebody wants to go and see that construction, if they ask the laborers, okay, can you tell me the details, where is what, which part of the what is this part of the room or that part of the structure, they may not be able to say that. So for that, whom do we have to approach? We have to approach the chief engineer. In other words, the chief engineer, he knows everything about the construction, directly and indirectly. Similarly, the personality of Godhead, who is the supreme engineer of this cosmic creation, knows very well what is happening in every nook and corner of the cosmic creation. Although the activities appear to be performed by someone else, in actuality, from Brahma down to the insignificant ant, no one is no one is independent in the material creation. The hand of the Supreme Lord is everywhere. All the material elements as well as all the spiritual sparks. Spiritual sparks means all of us. All the material elements as well as all the spiritual sparks are but emanations from the Supreme Lord only. Whatever is created in this material world is a result of the interaction of these two energies, the spiritual energy and the material energy. So the interaction between these two energies gives the result, or the result of it is the creation of this material world. Material and spiritual, which emanate from the absolute truth, the personality of Godhead Sri Krishna or Vasudev. The living entity known as a chemist can manufacture water in the laboratory by mixing hydrogen and oxygen. But in reality, the living entity works under the direction of the Supreme Lord, and all the material he uses are supplied by the Lord. One can mix different chemicals or mix different raw materials to form something new. But where are the raw materials coming from? Who is supplier of the raw materials? Nobody can really create those raw materials. Nobody can create the seed of the plants. The seed is there, and then of course with the seed they can do many uh, cross germination and cross pollination and this and that and many things, but they cannot create that basic ingredient, the basic raw material. So in reality, the living entity works under the direction of the Supreme Lord, and all the materials that he uses are supplied by the Lord. Thus, the Lord knows everything directly and indirectly in minute detail, directly and indirectly in minute detail, and is fully independent as well. The Supreme Lord, although he is aware of everything minutely, directly, indirectly, in minute detail, he is aware of everything. He is the doer of everything. It is under his direction that everything is happening. Still, he is independent of all of these things. It is not that he's personally present in all those things. He can, just like the chief engineer, he can be compared to a gold mine, and the objects within the cosmic creation can be compared to ornaments made from that gold. These are examples for us to understand so that we don't get confused. So these are all examples that the Lord can be compared to a gold mine. It is a mine of gold. So much gold is there. The more gold is taken out, still there will be some gold. So objects within the cosmic creation can be compared to the ornaments that are made from that gold, which are taken out from the gold mine, such as gold rings, gold necklaces, and so on. The gold ring and necklace are qualitatively one with the gold in the mine. It is the same gold. If we check the quality wise, it is the same gold that is present in the gold mine and the earrings or the rings or whatever, necklaces, everything. But quantitatively, the gold in the mine and the gold in the ring or necklace are different. The complete philosophy is this understandable? Srila Prabhupada is giving such clear examples. Mahaprabhu is giving such clear examples. The complete philosophy of the absolute truth, therefore, centers about the fact that the absolute truth is simultaneously one with and different from his creation. Achintya Bheda Bhed. He is one qualitatively. We are all part and parcel. We are minute spark of the infinite fire, but quantitatively we are different. Nothing is absolutely equal to the absolute truth, but at the same time, nothing is independent of the absolute truth. Conditioned souls from Brahma, who is the engineer of this particular universe. Every universe has a Brahma. It is a position, it is a post. Just like CEO is a post. It is not the name of the person. Today, the CEO of a particular company will be one particular person. After few years, another person will be there. So, like that, Brahma is a post. And for our universe, the Brahma has four heads. For some other universes, depending on the size and the complexity of the universe, the Brahma may have 10 lakh, 10 million, 10 crore heads, any number of heads, because that much brain, that much intelligence is required to create such an universe. So, the engineer of this particular universe, Brahma, down to an insignificant ant, they are all creating something, but none of them are independent of the Supreme Lord. The materialist wrongly thinks that there is no creator, but his own good self. And this misconception is called Maya or illusion. Due to his poor fund of knowledge, the materialist cannot see beyond the purview of his imperfect senses. Thus, he thinks that matter automatically takes its own shape independent of a conscious background. This is refuted by Srila Vyasdev in the first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. As stated before, Vyasdev is a liberated soul and he compiled this book of authority after attaining spiritual perfection. Since the complete whole or the absolute truth is the source of everything, nothing is independent of him. In one sense, everything that exists is the body of the absolute truth. Everything that exists is the body of the absolute truth. Any action or reaction of a part of a body becomes a cognizable fact to the embodied soul. If something happens in our feet, we are walking, something happens in the tip of the toe of our feet. Will we understand or not? Of course, we will understand. Even if an ant comes and bites, tuk, we'll understand. Oh, something happened, something happened. So, like that, everything that exists is just part of the body of the absolute truth. Therefore, directly, indirectly is aware of all the minute details of everything that is going on. Similarly, since the creation is the body of the absolute truth, then everything in the creation is known to the absolute, both directly and indirectly. Just like if something happens in our body, no matter where it is happening, we will understand. Similarly, we are just tiny little insignificant beings, nothing else. The ant may be insignificant. We are also as insignificant as the ant. Because in the eyes of the Supreme Lord sees everything. Because it's everything belongs to him. Every atom is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. So therefore, if the ant is, we think we are very significant, we are wrong. We are all very insignificant. And everything is known to the absolute truth. In the Shruti mantra, it is stated that the absolute whole or Brahman is the ultimate source of everything. Everything emanates from him, everything is maintained by him, and at the end, everything enters into him again. That is the law of nature. This is confirmed in the Smriti mantra. There it is said that at the beginning of Brahma's millennium, the source from which everything emanates is the absolute truth or Brahman, and that at the end of that millennium, the reservoir into which everything enters is that same absolute truth. So in the beginning of Brahma's millennium, every millennium and a Brahma, new Brahma comes. So in the beginning, when the new Brahma appears and then new creations happen, or rather the creations start happening again, at that time everything is emanating from the body of the absolute truth, Mahavishnu or Brahman. And again, when that millennium, Chaturyug, Satya Yug, Dwapar Yug, Treta Yug, Kali Yug gets over, again everything enters into that same absolute truth. So that absolute truth remains as it is. We are going in and out, in and out, in and out. But the absolute truth is as it is. Material scientists haphazardly take it for granted that the ultimate source of this planetary system is the sun. Assumptions. But they are unable to explain the source of the sun. They haphazardly take it for granted. Ultimate source of this planetary system is the sun. But what is the source of the sun? How did the sun come? From where has the sun come? How is it there? How is it that it is regularly doing its work exactly at the same time and moving also exactly in the same pace without any disturbance, without any change, without any fault? What is it? Faulty um, working. There is no fault in the working of the sun. How is it all happening? In the first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, the ultimate source is explained. According to Vedic literature, Brahma is the creator of this universe, but because he had to meditate to receive the inspiration for such creation. Actually, Brahma's birth, when it happens, how does it happen? Brahma comes out from the navel of Lord Vishnu, and this entire lotus flower comes out, goes into into the space, and then the lotus flower blooms, and Brahma is sitting, and then he opens his eyes and he sees that okay, there is nothing. Brahma is clueless. What am I doing here? What am I supposed to do? And many times Brahma does up and down on that stem. Arey, what do I have to do? Where am I? Who am I? He doesn't do anything after the birth. And Brahma wasn't the birth wasn't like he was a small child and somebody came to feed him milk. No, not like that. He opened his eyes and he was as it is, always the same. So of course, in Brahma Lok also there is Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi. The birth happens and they have a long life, but there also they have Jara, old age. There also disease is there. Jara Vyadi is there, even there, and Mrityu is there. Mrityu is happening there also. So Lord Brahma, he does up and down on that stem. Then he again goes and sits on the lotus flower. He thinks what to do, and then he starts to close his eyes, trying to meditate. That what do I have to meditate on? And that is when he hears, or that the knowledge is revealed within his heart. What he has to do? He has to do tapa. So he starts meditating on tapa, the sound vibration. And that's when the knowledge starts getting revealed to him. So in the first verse, no, where was I? Yeah. But because he had to meditate to receive the inspiration for such creation, he is not the ultimate creator. That's when he realizes that um, that there is a higher authority above him from where his birth has happened, and then all the knowledge is revealed to him, and then what is his job post, what is his job description, all that was revealed to him, that you are on this job role, this is your job description, this is what you have to do. And that's when Brahma starts working on it. So we'll pause here for today, and Krishna willing, we'll again continue reading tomorrow. Thank you very much, dear devotees, for your kind association. वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्री श्रीमद श्रीला जय पताका स्वामी गुरु महाराज की जय। जगत गुरु श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय। निताई गौर
जय
प्रेमानंदे।
जय
हरि